quick wipe, as I should have done that before we came on, so you can actually see me. Good evening. I'm here in the garage tonight. Different car tonight to usual, so it's not the orange TT as you would normally expect to be in the garage, and it's not the red TT that we had in the garage 2 weeks ago, but it's actually my silver roadster, and there's a reason we've got a roadster in the garage tonight, because I'm joined in the garage tonight by Mr. Andy Mortimer.
Thank you for the invite. Good evening, all.
Thank you very much for being here, Andy. So Andy is one of the channel members here on the Andycharger channel, helps support the channel, and he's also the owner of a wonderful Merlin Purple, hence the hoodie tonight. Merlin Purple 225 roadster, which he will be bringing with himself to Belgium in just,
fingers crossed,
3.5 weeks time. So we're going to talk all about that trip tonight, because we're now getting close to 3.5 weeks till we go. 3 weeks on Wednesday I leave. Andy will be coming over on the Friday
week and
joining us for a lot of the ongoings for the weekend. We're going to talk about what you're going to need if you're coming on that trip tonight. So what do you need in your Audi TT Mark 1 to make sure you're safe on the road, and of course what you need on that trip from a regulatory perspective as well. We're also going to talk about a few items that I would highly recommend you get in your car as well, that I get sent to try, and I think, well, if I get sent things and they work well, I'll always share them with you on the channel. Recommend them to go and pick them up yourself if you want to, but it's a good idea to check these things out. So we've got a few things in the garage, but I want to welcome you all along tonight. So there's 9 of you on there at the moment. We normally get about that, so it starts building up slowly over the next 10 minutes, and we get about 40 or 50 people on. So welcome along. So who have we got on there tonight? Let's say we've got a few members on. So Richard Rendell, welcome along, buddy. Hope you're well. John Roster, welcome along. Oh, Rappy's on. What, we need to get you in the garage one night, Rappy. See if we can fit your car in here. I don't know if we'll fit it in, but we'll give it a go. Claire, one of the channel members. Hi, Claire. Hope you're well. Mohammed Bact, a very generous Mohammed Bact that gifted 5 memberships just a couple of weeks ago to new members. So thank you for gifting those, Mohammed. And Christoph, welcome along, buddy. We're both here tonight. So, yeah, we'll definitely do it, Rappy. Let's do that. We can talk on WhatsApp about that. Let's get you in the garage and you can tell us all about your wonderful Mark III. So we're off to Belgium in just 3 weeks' time. And we thought tonight with Andy here, we'd talk about Andy's TT journey as well. We're going to talk about that because he's not an owner of just one. He's had a couple over the time.
Four.
So there's
4 years.
So there's definitely some stories we can talk about. Things aren't always quite right, but we're going to talk all about that tonight. And of course, if you've got any questions yourself, please put them in the chat so we can pick them up and we can address those going forward. Again, although it looks nice and tidy from what you're looking at, trust me, the garage has got messy again. So Richard George, if you're out there tonight, it's already messy from when you were here just a couple of weeks ago. But I've been away for the last few weeks. Steve Chesham, good evening, sir. Hope you're well. I did see that lovely yellow roadster has been MOT today and back on the road. So well done on that. So yeah, always good to see. I hope we're not clashing too much tonight. We look a bit like a fruit salad, don't we?
Yeah.
If people know what those sweets are, maybe only for a certain age. Yes, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So younger people, go and Google it if you don't know what a fruit salad is. Yeah. But yeah, so welcome along. Do put it in the chat if you've got anything you want to ask us tonight. But I suppose let's start with Andy and talk about his TT journey. So Andy, what was your first TT you owned?
So my first TT was a 180 Silver Roadster. As I said to you, I've come in there, bought it totally by accident. My lad found it actually. Turned out to be a very, very early car. It was a V. It done 170,000 miles. And all intentions of just doing some road trips with me and my lad in it. And then I was getting some parts. I was over at TT shop in Blackburn, and Lee had just listed, not listed, he'd taken a photo of a Merlin Roadster, BAM 60,000 mile, and I'd obviously at this stage become in contact with Ben of the North, and said I'd seen this car, and he said, you got to buy it. And long story short, 3 years ago I decided to buy it, but it was found in a field. It was and you know, anybody who knows me knows you wouldn't trust me with one end of a spanner to the next. So it's been a bit of a labour of love over the last 3 years finding people to help along the way. So.
But this colour hoodie obviously matches Andy's car perfectly. So we've sourced an Andycharger hoodie to match his car. But we are looking forward to getting Andy into Belgium for the first time attendee this year.
Yeah, first time.
And it's going to be a great show, as we know. I'm looking forward to seeing Andy's car. I've been speaking to Andy about that car for quite some time, and he's been telling me about the fixes he's done, and he's been asking me how he fixes certain things and what things could be, and we've worked through a few
We're
things,
close.
but there's still a few things to do. So, Richard George, welcome along, sir. We've got a few questions in the chat, so let's quickly go back and see what we've got in there. So, Richard Rendell, my TT journey has started again. Had a 225 years ago and just bought a Project V6.
Nice.
Well, that's nice, a nice car to have. But I would say if it's a Project V6, try and keep it as standard as possible because they're not great to tune. If I'm perfectly honest, you're not going to get an awful lot more out of a V6. So keep it as standard as you can, and you'll probably get the most success from it. John Roster, Andy Ivor, philosophical question. I see a lot of TT owners in the US trying to sell Mark 1s for just stupid amounts of money. Like I saw a 2001 Quattro for $18,000 US.
Okay.
Do you know what? I think TTs in the US are worth an awful lot of money. They hold their value very well. So while we see that as quite a high value, not always the case. That is sometimes where they sit. You know, looking at a $18,000 car, if you convert it to UK money, that is still strong. But the cars are very rare there, and they're going to be in a lot better condition than a lot of UK cars because the road conditions obviously much better. They're much drier. They use different products on the road. The weather conditions, you know, a lot of different cars. There's a couple of great YouTubers actually in the US that feature the Mark 1. So Hunter Direction, he features a lot of Audi cars. So definitely check out Hunter's channel, and also Travis TT as well. If you check out Travis's channel, he does some great content on the Mark 1, doing a lot of fixes. And he's really quite ingenious the way he comes up with solutions to problems as well, because obviously the parts aren't always available in the US as easily as they are here. So he comes up with some great ways. He made his own engine mounts. I don't know if you saw that, but he made a set of engine mounts, the rubbery engine mounts. He actually cured them with a liquid. Amazing what he did. So they do hold money quite well. We've got 70 people on now. So welcome along everyone that's jumping on. What is wrong with these people? What's that with the people paying the money? Well, I don't think there's anything wrong with them, because if you want that car, any price is a good price. Hi, Richard again. Yeah, so Claire said, Andy, my driver's door in the roadster isn't lying flush. Help. Okay, so depending where the driver's door is sitting off kilter, what the doors tend to do, they tend to drop on the hinges. And you can get some shims that go behind the door. You loosen the door off on the hinges. You can put some shims behind. It helps you adjust that alignment of the door. So that's something you can look at if that is currently out of alignment, Claire. Richard Rendell, no tuning, just going to make it as new as possible. That's the best thing to do for a...
Yeah, I would agree with that.
I think we definitely need to leave those V6s to be a V6. You know, if you are looking to tune an Audi TT, I would highly recommend looking at something. 225 is a great platform to work with. The 180s that you see out there, people sort of shy away from them because maybe the tuning capacity is not as great. But the right mods, you can get it up close to that 225 base model, but you're not going to push it too much past that. So I definitely recommend, if you can get a decent 225 for tuning, that is the way to go. So just going to read back. So, has any TT V6 come to Brazil? Danielo Bernardino. That I don't know, but welcome along from Brazil. That's I think you might be one of our first TT viewers from Brazil. So welcome along. Thank you very much for that question. Please do spread the word in TT world in Brazil, because it'd be great to get any other TT owners in Brazil on here as well. Stuart Heather, hi Andy, alarm didn't go off. Oh, my Apple Watch is answering questions for us, which is not great. So the alarm didn't go off. Okay, so that is I guess your alarm to wake you up to watch didn't go off, maybe. I guess that would be. First thing is going to attempt chain in no rush, so we'll strip as much as possible. Where would you recommend buying the kit? Cheers. I don't know. That is something I would only recommend as close to OEM parts as possible. Yeah, so it's not one of those jobs that people really try at home themselves unless they know it. I spoke to someone at Quattrofina. We were both at Quattrofina last year, just gone on the year before. We were. Was it you? Were you there? So the year before we sat and we had lunch, didn't we? Or afternoon drinks. Afternoon drinks we had. But at that show, there was a guy that was there that year, and he had done his own change in his garage. So it is possible. You can do it I know a contact at VW Parts in Maidstone. So what I can do, if you want, is drop me a message about the chains. I will speak to Harry and find out if Harry says those parts are available from VW themselves. He might be an OEM part. I would always recommend things like that OEM if you can get them.
Well, I fell foul of that, didn't I, recently?
Yes, sensors.
Yeah.
Sensors.
So, in fact, I may have fell foul of that twice because I think the thermostat's gone in it, which was replaced.
That's
and now I've just ordered an OEM one. So
yeah, I would highly recommend, if you are buying any parts for your car, I did a video on it. So if you've not checked that video, please go and check that video out from a couple of weeks ago about why you should always buy OEM if you can. Sensors particularly, because there's a lot of parts available at eBay. Other marketing sites are available as well, other marketplace sites. But the trouble is, they also have a lot of fake parts there. So they might appear as Bosch and they might appear as Febby Bilstein, but when you actually turn up, they're not quite original parts. So if you want to buy a genuine sensor, I'd recommend going to the dealership if they're still available, or go to a reputable auto parts supplier, Euro Car Parts.
That's where mine came from.
There you go, and that's
and
the one that was wrong.
Yeah. So the oil pressure switch.
Yeah.
When we changed the
pipe.
pickup pipe, so I got the part from Euro. I think it cost me like 17 quid or something. Thinking no problem.
Right.
Sent it off to the garage. They did the work, and then drove the car again, and the oil pressure light came back on again. Contacted another mechanic who's doing a lot of work on the purple one for me, and he said you should always go OEM, which is why when me and you were messaging, and then I spoke to VW in Sheffield, VW Audi Sheffield, sorry, and they said we can order the proper part. I think it was £27. I think so. It's a little bit more. 2 days, and I've just done that today with the thermostat.
Right.
So
don't do it twice. Don't do it twice. Do it wrong. Do it twice. So I'd highly recommend, guys, that I'd highly recommend, if you're watching, there's 87 of you watching right now. Only 12 people have given it a like. So if you are watching it, please do give this video a like, because it makes me know that you're enjoying the content, and it also helps us get the rankings up a little bit to get in front of more people. So, but while we're talking about that, about the OEM parts, so you bought a sensor from Euro Car Parts, so it's going to be a genuine sensor, but it's just not OEM, and that's the trouble.
Yeah, listen, I'll be proving I know nothing about the mechanical side of things. You wouldn't trust me one end of a spanner from the next. And when I sort of sent it to the workshop, and they fitted it, and then it didn't work, and then so I spoke to a different mechanic who's done a lot of work on the purple, and he said, always go OEM.
Absolutely.
And so I fitted it. So I got the OEM one, had that fitted, and touch wood, the oil pressure light's not returned. So
that's good.
Changing pickup pipe and sensor seems to have done that. Picked up a couple more issues, but that's another story for another day.
Well, yeah, we can talk about it in a minute. So now this interesting contraption right here, I don't know if you can see that. If I turn it up that way, you might see it says patio span on it. Well, that is not a patio spanner or patio heater spanner, but it's not a patio heater spanner that you would know, because that is what I've fabricated to remove my oil pressure sensor.
Right.
Because it's so limited on space on the 3.2 V6.
Yeah.
That I had to see, I ground that down. You can see I've made it slightly bigger because it wasn't big enough. And then I've had to bend it in the shape to get it round enough, just so I could knock a very slight movement to get the actual oil pressure sensor switch off. So there you go. There is a part that you manufacture. It's not available from Audi, that part. You have to make it yourself. But it is a bit of a tricky one. You can do it with a swan neck and other things as well. But right, I'm just going to have a quick look through the questions, make sure I've not missed anything. There's a few things have come in. Claire said, I have a 3mm gap in the roof frame at the joint above the driver's window, not in the other side. How do I fix it? Letting in water. Claire, I would suggest that is probably because the roof may have been off at some point and not fitted in correctly again. Because what you have to do is, when you fit the roof, and there's the fittings around the back of it, you have to make sure they're loosely done up for you. You have to do a couple of test fittings with that to make sure it's in the right position before you finally do it up, so it will fold, and it will fold out completely. This roof on this car I changed, and it's never quite fitted the same. I definitely get some wind noise. I don't get any leakage, but I definitely get wind noise. So if you want it done, I guess, spot on, I'd say take it to a roof repairing company. I did it myself, saved myself £1,600 essentially, because I did check out someone today was talking to someone online, asking them how much they have paid or about to pay to have a new roof fitted, and they've paid, or they're going to pay £1,600.
Yeah, I funny enough, I saw someone post on Facebook the day they've had a new roof on, and I just messaged them privately, said how much they're paying. He had it done in the Midlands, I think it was. I think he said he paid 1,500.
Yeah, it's a pricey job, and there's not
Yeah.
many people that do it. And if you
No.
turn the clock back, maybe I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 or 5
Yeah.
years, that job was about £1,200,
Mm.
£1,200. So I think that's probably gone up because there's less roofs available now for repairing as well, because
Yeah.
it is an actual roof swap out. It's not just a recover of material; it's a new roof swap
Yeah.
out. So it is quite a big old job. So I definitely recommend that, Claire. Richard, again, thanks, Andy. We'll do that. We'll need a few other parts as well. Yep. Okay. So yeah, Richard, definitely drop me an email, and I will come back to you with what you need. I can speak to Harry and see if it's available or not. Sadly, I know about Brazil for TTs. Don't believe anywhere they're from Audi, so they would be imports, and they cost an absolute crazy 5 times the cost. Wow. Steve Cow, hi, buddy. I hope you're well. Welcome along. Oh, changed it 6 years ago. Yeah, so I think that's probably, maybe it could have shifted over time, and maybe it's come out of alignment, but definitely worth checking on that. So yeah, definitely worth something to look into, Claire, I would say. But again, those of you that are just joining on now, welcome along. I hope you're enjoying what you're watching. Again, I've got Andy Mortimer here in the garage with me tonight with his own TT journey. He's going to tell us all about the roadster and what work he's had undertaken on it shortly. So we'll find out more about that particular TT. But again, if you are enjoying what you're watching, please do give it a little thumbs up. And if you are new to the channel, Andy is a channel member, so he supports the channel. And if you would like to join the Andycharger channel and become a channel supporter, then click the join link below and become part of our TT inner circle of enthusiasts, a little squad of TT enthusiasts. So if you'd like to support the channel, please do so. Thank you very much. Stephen Craddock, good evening. You too are a channel subscriber and a channel member. So thank you again, and Claire as well, for your ongoing support. So Andy, on your purple Merlin car, so how long ago did that journey start? 3 years ago?
Yeah, I bought it in February 2023. It was purely because of the colour and because I was encouraged by Ben. He said, a 60,000 mile BAM roadster. You're not going to see too many of them. I'd love to find out more. I did try through Audi, but they were not
reluctant.
Yeah, there wasn't much information. So that's when the journey started, and had it sort of towed back to Sheffield, and found out that it got far more issues than I first thought.
As they all do.
But just decided it needed to be saved. I think it last passed an MOT something like 2020 or something like that, and I sort of got it passed in December of last year. Done about 22 miles in the last 4 or 5 years.
Wow.
Something ridiculous. And I always sort of knew that once we got it running, we were going to find more and more things with it.
Yeah.
I think the big one was, didn't realise it must have been sat on grass when it's found in the field, because it was all needed welding underneath and things like that. So then, to be fair, I lost interest with it for a little while, because I lost my mum actually not long after getting it, and I just lost interest in it for a bit, so I just left it at the garage. But realistically, mechanically, it's pretty much had just about everything done. The power steering, the steering rack, it was all ruined, so just rotted away basically. It's just been sat.
You've had oil pickup pipe.
So it's had oil pickup pipe and a thermostat. I think the thermostat's faulty, so I'm getting away on one. It's had cam belt, water pump, steering rack, power steering pipes, one of the ECU things, or little module things that goes
under the dash.
I think it had that, because it got 1,000,001 sort of codes when you plugged it in.
What about the instrument cluster? Have you got problems with that?
That I sent that to Sean.
Yeah, Sean Glencoe. Highly recommend.
Yeah, he's great. To be fair, he was brilliant. He sent it to me, returned it within a few days. Yeah, it was brilliant. So it's had all that done. Just about anything underneath there. It's MAF sensors, you name it.
Yeah,
literally everything that you know. And obviously now it's sort of running, but needs a little bit of TLC.
And it's got a few OEM plus features. It's got a set of BBS alloy wheels on it.
Yeah, so the BBSs are genuine Audi wheels, but I actually saw them off one of the guys who's down here. Is it Russ? He's got the green 3.2, and he's got the
Yes, I know. Yeah,
Yeah, and I spoke to Russ at
It's a beautiful car.
Portofino and Simply Audi. It
That is
was,
the only one I've ever seen in that colour. It's a
yeah,
very unusual green,
it
but
is.
yeah,
And I was chatting to him, and I said, and I took a picture of his wheels. So I thought, if I ever get some BBSs, that's what I do to them. So they've got sort of like silver barrels, but the spokes are
that's
painted
right.
gold. So yeah, so it's had a few sort of slight modification. I have this argument with Ben. He says I'm a modifier now, even though I like to say it's
Nah.
OEM-ish.
Yes,
You
it's
know, it's
OEM.
nothing.
I think they were an
Yeah,
option from the factory, were they not? I think those BBSs were
yeah,
not an
they're an
option.
option.
So,
I think just because I've painted them gold. I
oh
think that's why
well,
he's
I
saying it's
think
like.
we'll leave you
But
off for that. Don't let Jeff see them because Jeff will say they're not OEM. But
yeah,
welcome along, Paul. Tonight to see you've jumped on as well. Hope you're all good. So it sounds like Andy's done a lot of work on that car. And although it has been run a little bit rough at times, but we're hoping that you're getting to the bottom of those problems now.
yeah. I think just want to point out I'm not the one doing the work on it.
No.
It's like I get other people to do it.
Yeah.
Because otherwise it'd never get anywhere. I think it's got some sort of like boosters, like leak or something like that. So I think I've just ordered the catch can kit from Cloud9. So I think we're going to get that on there, and then hopefully,
Brilliant.
so I think that should solve it. Really,
Hopefully.
it does drive. It's just it's just a bit rough when it first starts up. It doesn't always wants to sort of cut out a little bit, and then it's just when it idles, when it's warm, it idles a bit high, but when it's cold, it's sort of struggling along. So I just think it's maybe got a boost
definitely
leak
having
or
some
something.
problems, isn't it? So
but
I'm
running
sure
a bit
it'll be
lean. I think it's when I plug VCDS, it's running lean.
So of course,
maybe a map will sort it out.
Well, I don't know about a map. That might make it work harder, but I think if you are obviously taking your car on a road trip like Andy's been doing in the next few weeks, as we go to Ypres in 3 weeks' time, you need to make sure that you are prepared for the road trip. Now, there are some differences if you're driving in France and Belgium, because don't forget, to get to our final destination, Ypres, we've actually got to take the car through France, no matter which way you are getting there. So if you are driving the car through France and driving your car into Belgium, you need to make sure you've got a European driving kit in the car. Now, we've done a bit of research of what you need, and we've seen some differences of opinion.
Yeah.
So what I've got here in the garage is...
to grab it?
Well, yeah, just grab it over there. So this is a European driving kit. Now, Andy's not looked inside this yet. So this is a true kit. And being the nice gentleman that I am, I have donated this kit to Andy. So he's got his very own kit. Hasn't got to go and buy it. So if we look inside that, now things you do need in your European driving kit is you need these yellow high-vis jerseys. And you need one of these, or vests. You need one of those per person in your car if you're driving in France and Belgium. So you need to make sure if you've got a roadster, you've got a passenger, make sure you've got two. I very much doubt many coupes are going to be taking 4. So you need to make sure you've got 2 in there, whatever. It's also got the warning triangle. Well, most cars now have that. And of course, with the TTs in the UK, you've normally got that little Velcro strip in the boot of most cars, where most people put their their warning triangles in there. So you normally get one with the car. You also need a first aid kit if you are taking the car to into France and to Belgium. And we did think you needed a fire extinguisher. Now, they are recommended, and I will be taking one. And I've got this little one here. So just to give you an idea of the size of it, that's the size of my fire extinguisher. Now, these aren't compulsory if you're driving a non-Belgian car. If you're driving a Belgian car, you do need one. If you're not driving a Belgian car, so if you're a foreign driver, you can get away with not having one. I would have one anyway, because if any small fire broke out in your car and you've got the option to extinguish it, obviously a big fire, it's not going to do a lot. But a little fire, this could save your car your pride and joy. So for investment with that, I'm not sure how much they cost.
I think about 30 quid. If Alfred's obviously other places have them.
Definitely worth having one. And of course, they do have an expiry date, I think, as well on them, or you can get them regassed or repowdered. I think the powder, aren't they? This one, but definitely worth getting it checked, because the last thing you want is if you take it abroad and it doesn't work and your car burns down the side of the road, you've got a long walk home. But I would recommend one of those. But again, not only do you need this kit also comes with things like an ice scraper, some tyre. It's got some tyre gauge and pump parts as well. So don't forget you need that. I mean, for what they are, I think they're definitely worth having, because they're also useful if you're driving in the UK as well. It's always worth having a first aid kit and a warning triangle. But I would also check, if you are taking the car aboard for the first time, if you have got a spare tyre in the car, the Roadsters, luckily, or the 225 do carry a space saver spare. You find the 3.2s tend not to. They have a inflation pump and some tyre fluid. I personally would say if you can fit it in the car, is take a spare space saver with you anyway, or if you take a full size wheel, which I always do, so that you can get around, because relying on that fluid at the side of the road and the pump is not great. So I would recommend taking your own tyre. Obviously, you might need to make sure in your toolkit you've normally got like a round wheel that sits in the spare wheel if you've got a spare wheel in the boot, or if you've got the 3.2, it's actually mounted under the floor. You've got a jack normally in there and a wheel brace and various other small components. I'd make sure you've got all that complete before going, because the last thing you want to do at the side of the road is break down and not be able to change a tyre. And of course, if you don't know how to change a tyre, I'd highly recommend checking that on YouTube. I don't cover that, funny enough, but I should do, really, shouldn't I? But highly recommend changing the tyre. There are some other bits I will be taking with me on the road trip, because these cars, they're 20 years old. They tend to throw a few areas. So I always have.
I've got a coil packs and some sparks and things.
Exactly that. Always have these with you, because so that is a 225 or a 1.8T coil pack. You can see it's got the coil pack mount on the front there, on the side. And then that is a 3.2 V6 one with the coil mount attached at the top for plugging it in. Slightly different styles, but definitely have one of those, because you could run into some problems and get yourself out of trouble with one of those. I'm also taking with me.
You have to have bulbs.
You do have to have, there's recommended bulbs. Oh, I think they might be compulsory bulbs, but yeah, bulbs are something to take as well. I've got a few sets of bulbs up there on my shelf that I will always take with me as well. But I'm also taking a spare MAF, because you never know if that might go wrong, could cause a lot of problems. And of course, I haven't got one right here with me, but one thing I would also be taking is a code reader, because if we get into any sort of trouble, we can wipe codes. Now, I will have my code reader with me. So if anyone that's coming to Ypres wants their chains read, wants their car diagnostically checked to make sure they've got no problems, happy to read your code and look at your car while we're there anyway, so we can do that. Also, some good news of experts that might be coming to Belgium is Bryn BWSTT is coming to Belgium. We'll be doing a question and answer session, a YouTube question and answer session from 12:30 in the bar area at there. We've got a PA system, so you'll have Bryn on hand. What he doesn't know about TTs is not worth knowing, so I highly recommend if you can grab Bryn for 5 minutes and bend his ear about cars, he's the man to speak to. I'm just the apprentice, really. I've got no idea when it comes to things like that. He's the man to speak to. I'd also recommend, even though it's not too far into Belgium, it's less than an hour to where we're going, is if you've got one of these stick-on sat-nav devices, definitely worth doing. And also would highly recommend is getting yourself one of these. Other brands are available, but I'm going to fit this and try this in the TT for taking it to France later in the year. Not to Belgium, I'm not taking it, because I'm taking the Papaya and it already has one. Definitely worth checking out. And if you are getting one of these cameras for your car, doesn't matter what brand you get, but make sure it's full HD, so a 1080p one, because there's a lot lower grain or lower pixel versions. And when the cars are more than about 10 yards in front of your car, you can't read number plates, you can't see details. So make sure it's at least 1080p, full HD, or 4K if you can get one, because that's what you need to identify cars when you're driving. So highly recommend a dash cam. And the other thing I'd recommend getting, if you haven't already got one, this is a new one I've not tried yet, but is get yourself a jump pack for the car. Obviously, if the car has a flat battery, refuses to start, these can get you out of a lot of trouble. And of course, if you take them fully charged, which they should be, you can also use them to charge your phone and anything else you've got while you're away. These are a lifesaver. My son breaks down regular, runs out of battery, he's got flat battery, and that is definitely something I have in his car at all times now to get him out of trouble. Mr. GMT1 from all the way from Australia sent us $2. Thank you very much, sir. You're a very, very kind person. Every time you come on this show, you always astound with your generosity. So thank you very much for sharing that. That's most appreciated. Thank you very much. I hope things are well in Australia, because it must be really early in the morning for you there at the moment. So appreciate you jumping on. So that's some of the things I think about taking with me to Belgium. What would you recommend that maybe I've left out? Is there something you're thinking that I might have left out? Andy,
someone
what do you
did
think?
say, I noticed in one of the questions, someone said about the breathalyzer thing.
Yes.
I did read that you do need to have those, but but then you read different things, and some say it's compulsory, and some say it's advisory. But
yes,
yeah,
do you have to have a breathalyzer? So Steve Cowell, that was and that's a really
yeah,
good point. Now I've always got them in a pack, and you can get disposable ones,
yeah,
which they have a sell by date on it. But you can also get one. I haven't got mine to hand, but it's a battery one that you blow into.
yeah.
You've got to prove to the authorities that you're not over the limit. Now I've done a lot of miles in. I shouldn't say this, should I? Before we go, but I've done a lot of miles in Europe over the time. You know, probably well over 20,000 miles over there. And not once I've ever been breathalyzed, I'd like to add. But of course, if you have an accident, maybe, or you get involved in an accident, you might need to prove. Then you've always got it on hand. So highly recommend getting yourself a set of breathalyzers as well. Yeah, definitely. Or don't think you can. Don't. I'm going to remove that comment because it's bad language is not allowed on my feed, guys, because it gets that can get us in a lot of trouble. So please refrain from swearing if you wouldn't mind, people. Hello, Phil P. How you doing, buddy? The man that solved my alternator single-handedly. So thank you very much, buddy. Hope you're well. Paul, you can order the plug.
A Merlin Purple out?
We might need to. Well, he gave me the idea how to fix. He didn't do the fix. He just gave me the idea how to fix that alternator. So it was most appreciated. Yeah, Richard George, your breathalyzer can pass in France only. Thanks, Richard. Trouble is, you've got to go through France to get to Belgium. So yeah, thanks for confirming that. You can order the plug and play dash cam lead straight to OBD port. Brilliant. Didn't know that, Paul. That's a great idea. I don't know what this one is like inside. But again, it is available on my TikTok shop, actually. So I'll have to look at what it is. Other ones are available, but it's doesn't say how it connects. I'll have to have a look at it, but we'll definitely do a review of it. We'll do a review on the channel to see if it's any good. And again, if it's no good, you know, I'll tell you it's no good. But if it's good, I will tell you it's good. And if you're enjoying what you're watching tonight with me and Andy just talking cars, then please give it a thumbs up on here so I know you're enjoying it. So we've got the Roadster in the goes tonight. It's looking a bit sorry for itself. It needs a clean. It needs a full service. But again, this isn't coming to Belgium, but it is taking myself and my wife on a lap of France, essentially, in June. We're going to do a lap of France. We're going to go down to as far down as Monaco, and we're going to drive around as much of the Grand Prix circuit when it's just the roads.
Nice,
and we're celebrating our wedding anniversary while we're out there as well. So there's quite a lot to do. Mandatory to carry your driving license, proof of insurance, and V5 in France and Belgium. Yes, absolutely. So your documentation, you absolutely need to have that in the car. Again, if I'm honest, I haven't always taken them, and I should take them, but you should have your driving license, your V5, and your proof of insurance as well. So make sure you've got them printed off and you have copies of them. Yeah, it will be an awesome trip. We're looking forward to it. We're actually, I've literally driven back 1,000 kilometers yesterday evening or yesterday daytime from Chamonix with the family. Luckily, I wasn't driving. I was in the passenger seat of a Ford Ranger the whole way.
Okay.
My brother-in-law was doing the driving. So if you've seen any of my videos on my journey back yesterday, where I took some of the breathtaking scenery and I stuck it on TikTok just to show the worst bit about coming home is the bit about going on skiing holidays is coming home. But seeing the mountains is the most breathtaking thing. But we're going to go via there on the way back because we like the mountains in the summer as well. So that's a little trip I've got planned. But of course, I will document that. The wife doesn't know this bit, but I'm going to be documenting my journey as well. And I'll be sharing it with you guys on our journey as well. And I'll be hoping to try and find some Mark 1s on my journey. So I've been to France many times, and I've only ever come across a couple of Mark 1s in a few cities, and I've always taken pictures of them and shared them on the channel. So hopefully we can find some more Mark 1s out there.
We found one. I went to visit my sister-in-law in south of Spain, and we were walking around, and there was a Mark 1 coupe hidden there.
It's
so
always
I had
nice
to
to
take a
find
picture
one.
and share it.
Absolutely, it's the way to do it.
Yeah.
But what colour was it? Can you remember?
Blue.
Blue.
Yeah, it's a pale metallic blue. So I won't say denim, but I couldn't really work out what the age of it was.
That's the thing, isn't it? It's
definitely one. It was single exhaust. So I'm guessing it had possibly 150 or something like that.
Yeah,
but,
probably be a denim blue one.
180 maybe, wouldn't it?
Yeah. I don't know many. I don't know if is there any Mauritius blue 180s out there. If you've got a Mauritius blue 180, guys, let me know. I don't know if there is any out there, but but yeah, I know that they swapped over, I think, from denim to Mauritius in 2002. I think
Yeah.
it's the last year they made denim, because that is the Mauritius blue is the replacement for the denim blue color. So when I bought my Mauritius blue 3.2, I mistakenly thought it was denim because I didn't know they did a Mauritius. So I was going around telling people I had a denim blue 3.2, and they were saying, no, you can't have, because they didn't make it in that color. So there you go. That's my 3.2 story. Any questions, guys? Please put it in the chat and we will see if we can answer it. So we had a few things that we did last week. You probably remember last week we did the
was it the injector?
The injector cleaning. We did a test,
the test.
Yeah, and that was thanks to Andy that I did it, right? And I can't show you that because it's healed up. But I've got a massive cut right across the joint of my finger.
Yeah.
Because when he said, I've got this problem, I said, it might be your injectors. I said, I'll do you a demo of how to fix it. And I went out to the garden to actually snip a part off the car. And as I pulled it, it just ripped straight from my hand. There was blood everywhere. So it's your fault, Andy.
I'll take the blame on that one.
So, but it's it's healed up now. So, but I thought that was a really good way, and I'd found that being used by someone else, but a good way to test those injectors, clean the injectors. It was a good way of demonstrating how you can clean them. I'm going to do a full video on how to set that little rig up so you can do it yourself at home as well. List of all the events coming up. Paul's put there. I need to do it. Where's the memo? So I had one a couple of years ago. Fantastic colour. It's not here, but I'll let Andy talk about one.
Yeah, reason it's not here is because I'm working down in Kent for today and tomorrow. So bringing that down here practically was not a good idea, and I've got the company car outside. So that's why it's not here. But if you want to see it, it is on. There's some pictures on my Instagram.
Yeah, absolutely. What is your Instagram handle?
Andy Mortimer 7, I think it is.
Okay, so we'll.
I'll have to link it to you later.
Yeah, we'll put it in the chat. In fact, if Andy jumps on it on this, he could put it in the chat. Can you what your Instagram handle is? So we'll do that. So if Andy jumps on, he'll put his link in the chat now. You can follow Andy. In fact, if you look at the thumbnail of this actual of this live show today, it's Andy's car. So that's what we'll do. So all members of the channel, that if you want to feature your car on the thumbnail, if you want to feature your car, then send me a picture of your car. I'm featuring members' cars on the thumbnail for the live show every Monday. So get your pictures over to me. I know there's people on here right now with their green names, the lovely members I've got, that I'm sure would be happy to share a picture of their car. Now, obviously, we had Richard George on a couple of weeks ago. He's a channel member. We featured his car here in the garage. Chrissy Jamie, so Christoph, we featured your car last week on the thumbnail. Tonight is Andy. So whose car will be featured next week? Find out on the thumbnail during the week. Richard saw a 180 Auto with steering wheel controls yesterday for sale. They must be rare. Yes, they must be. Oh, Claire sent £5. Thank you, Claire. That's very kind of you to send that through, because you're also a your channel member as well. So thank you very much for the additional support. That's most appreciated. That will keep me in cups of tea. So that's the money that goes into the membership fund is what I can sit here and drink cups of tea. I've got no cups here tonight. Someone did ask, might be you, Andy. Someone asked me about a cup. I haven't got any cups left at the moment. I must get some more mugs ordered in, because I know that people do big like ones, a mug. Though. Yeah, get some 2 cuppers I need to get. So what have we got? So I'm just going to go back and read some comments. I've missed a load of stuff, guys. I'm really sorry. We're too busy. So Paul, I'm going to give you a list of things that are coming up. Covered that one. When you fit a new rocker cover gasket, do you have to do the half moon too? Funny enough, Stephen Cowell, I've just been covering that. I think it's actually part of it. I'm looking for the gasket. So I've just done, I'm halfway through putting the edit of the video together on that. I'm just looking to try and spot the gasket. I've hung it up somewhere. Where is that gasket? I'll show you the half moon on it as well. Where have I done with that? Trouble, this garage got so much in it. Never find anything when you need it. Hi all, great channel. Anyone need a full set of Brembo discs for a Mark 1 3.2? Design wraps. I don't know anyone particular. They do get asked quite often though in a lot of the groups. Has anyone got a set of Brembos for sale? It's a great upgrade for the brakes, particularly for the 225. It's a great upgrade. It takes you from a 312 to a 323 size disc. That's for the Seat Leon Cooper R, because that's what the car that they come from. The 3.2 actually has a 334 disc. It's a bigger disc, but the calipers on a 3.2 are only dual piston, whereas the pistons on a Brembo are obviously 4 pistons, so it's a much better, much more efficient way of braking. But they're definitely, if you want to send me the details of that, then I'm happy to share that. Vehicle graphics and wraps in Kent, happy to help. Love the channel, well done, guys. Design wraps, let's maybe have a little chat about that. We can maybe do a little bit of a video or a collab maybe, and share your products here on the channel. I don't know if I'd want anything wrapped, but maybe we could look at what we could wrap on the car maybe, and you can show us how it's done and talk people through it. And my watch is talking to me again. So yeah, but maybe we can do something on that. My CCM got wet. Oh, can you insulate them in any way? Claire, you can do. I've seen people that put them inside a box.
Yeah.
Is one way of doing it.
Cover it with a plastic bag.
Yeah, that's another way of doing it. Okay.
I have to change mine.
So there are various things you can do on that because they're in a really precarious part of the car. So first thing you need to make sure is that there's no water getting. There's no point doing it until you've got it watertight.
Yeah.
But if you can mount it in some sort of waterproof box, you do find that they, if they have got wet, is if you can take them out, give them a good clean up, give them a rub with some rubbing alcohol or isopropanol, get all the dirt and contaminants off. Dry them out completely, put them in a bag of rice, something. So make sure the components are dry before you put them back on, because make sure you've got rid of all the corrosion, and then mount it in a box that keeps it dry, because the last thing you want is that getting wet and causing problems. Michael Baines, hello Andy. It's hard which Andy you're talking to, but I presume we'll take it's me, but it might be Andy.
If it's mechanical, it's definitely not me.
Well, it's definitely might not be me, Andy, to be fair. Hello, Andy. Is a metal diverted valve worthwhile upgrade? Yes. I don't know if you mean the elbow. There's a metal elbow that fails. There's a plastic elbow that fails that has like a little metal component you replace it with, and that is worth doing. And that is a common part of the fault. And I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head. If it comes back to me, I'll mention it, because I think the diverter valve you're talking about. I think you might be talking about the hockey puck there for the diverter valve, the PCV valve. Might be wrong, but we can check on that. Only want 150 for the lot, and okay, 150 for the. Oh, that's pretty reasonable for a set of Brembos, buddy. If you've got those for sale, if that's the calipers as well. Also STI. Oh, that's what. Yeah, Chris, I'd be interested. Do I need any other supporting mods? Thank you. Hate my phone. Okay. Once I'm up and going, maybe have to do something. Stephen Credit, something for TT owners on ceramic coatings. Okay. Yeah, okay. Let's definitely have a little chat about that, Steve. Oh, Steve Chesham sent $4.99. Thank you, Steve, for that, buddy. Let's celebrate their first sleep on a live stream, it says there. So thank you very much, Steve. Appreciate that. Again, you are a channel member as well, so massively appreciate you sending me that kind donation to the channel tonight. Again, it helps, keeps in cups of tea. And we must get you down here as well on the channel with one of your lovely cars, because it'd be great to feature you here one Monday evening. And maybe we get you both down here in the cars. Maybe we get the white car in. That would be pretty cool to get. We could have these like unique and different cars maybe in the channel. We've had a Quattro Sport, so don't bring your Quattro Sport. And then we know that your Quattro Sport normally needs a jump from my jumper pack as well, as we found out, didn't we, the other week. But at least I've got it here if you need it. So that's one good thing. But yeah, you're more than welcome anytime you want to come down, both of you and the cars, and we can feature that on the channel. Right, so we've got Brembo discs and pads sat around and want red, as I've now got the 3.2. Love to help you guys out. I'm near Ashford. Keep up the good work. Okay, buddy, let's drop me a message, and we will maybe do something together. If you can drop me a message at my email address, you can find that on the channel as well, but it's Andy_Charger@hotmail.com. So that's Andy_Charger@hotmail.com. Drop me an email and maybe we can sort something out, because it'd be good to get you on the channel, maybe help the business out, get you a bit of get you some free publicity as well, and maybe we can do something on helping people out here knowing how to wrap a car. I don't know, maybe we can do a deal on the brakes and pads as well. Maybe we can help someone else out find new owners for it. So yeah, all good. So we talked about upcoming events, and there are obviously the big one for us, as we know, we've talked about, is Ypres.
Have we mentioned that?
Might have mentioned it. Have we mentioned it? That's the big one coming
There's a
up.
video as well.
There is a video, yeah. Oh, there's a video on the channel about all the details.
Yeah.
But there are other things that are coming up. I see that the Audi TT Owners Club are setting up. Is it Event TT? Is it called?
Yeah,
26.
event 26.
That's it.
I think is it the Great British Car Museum in
Yeah,
Derby?
it is. I think that's where it is. So
that's in July.
yeah, I want to say it's about the 22nd of July, is it, or 26th of July?
I think it's earlier than that.
That was it.
Yeah, I did put in the.
Andy's going to have a look at the events for us, so we can mention this. So there are quite a few. There's obviously, I think in July as well is Simply Audi down on the at the Beauty Motor Museum as well down in the south. That's another one that's coming up.
Yeah.
The first weekend in September is, of course, Quattrophenia, and that'll be Quattrophenia 5 this year, believe it or not.
On 21st of June.
The Motorist on 21st of June. There's the Motorist as well. Don't forget that one that's coming up.
5th of July, Sunday 5th of July TT event in Derby.
There you go. So Sunday the 5th of July is the TT26. That's being run by the Audi TT Owners Club. So that's another great event that's coming up. Of course, another big event that will be coming up will be Springfest. And if those of you that haven't been to Springfest, that's right here in my house. We have 40 TTs in the back garden. That's being held on the Sunday the 31st of May for the first instalment this year. We're going to try and do it twice. But if you would like to come along to Springfest here in the garden, please drop me an email again at the email address Andy_charger@hotmail.com. It will be invite or invitation only. Let me know you want to come, and then we can send you an invite and a ticket to join along. Daz, you will have an invite, of course. So you will definitely be here as always. So if you want to come along to that and bring your lovely cars to the garden, you're more than welcome to. We always have good weather, so fingers crossed for another good year. And the same as our weather when we go to Ypres. That is, we've done it 2 years prior, and it's always in April. It's always roasting. It's always been roasting. Now I've said that, you know, it's going to. So yeah, well, you know,
I got a T-shirt as well.
Oh, there you go. That's you've got both bases covered. There you go. So yeah. So there's definitely some. There are definitely some good events coming up. I'm just going to go back through. See what we might have missed. Thank you so much for your help. No worries, buddy. The details left my heater on for hours to dry the carpet. Is that bad? Well, provided that the engine's running, I don't think it would have might cost you a little bit in fuel. But other than that, then to dry the carpets out, I think there's probably more efficient ways of doing it than using the air conditioner in the car or the heater in the car. But Michael Baines, hi Andy, back to the diverter valve. Was looking at one of the forged ones to replace the Bosch plastic one with diaphragm. Thanks, Mike. Yeah, so Michael, I think that is the hockey puck that you're talking about there. I don't know what the forged one's like. I don't know if
does it come as, I don't know if it's in that kit.
Might be. I think it's a slightly different part to that. I think it's the more like rounded one, isn't it? The little diverter valve at the back. I don't think it's the hockey puck one. Hi guys, first time on here. Can you help me with advice on water leak in my driver's footwell? No idea where it's coming from. Raymundo, yeah, probably can talk about that. I'm just going to make sure we haven't scrolled past anyone, so I'll leave it where we're up to. So driver's footwell leak. We talked about it last week, actually. Someone mentioned there could be a grommet out on the back of the firewall that could be causing water to come in. But I think the more likely cause of water in the footwell is normally a failed driver's door seal. This is what normally happens on these cars. And what it will tend to do is the water, when it's raining on the car, so it's happening when the car's just sitting around, is it's obviously running down the door frame. And if there is anywhere where that seal is not making a tight seal because it's perished or fallen down, it's not closing, maybe it's lost its spring, it's not closing against the door, water will normally come in there. And what it tends to do, it tends to come in under, feed right down and come down around the back under the carpet. So you never really see it dripping as such. It feeds down the carpet and being, what's the term I'm looking for? Not conduction, but basically it just soaks down through the carpet and ends up in your footwell and keeps dripping down. It'll run to the lowest point. So it's normally a failed driver's door seal on that. So it's definitely worth, one of the key ways of knowing that's happening is if you notice a lot of road noise at speed in the car, that normally indicates that there's a problem with your door seal. But it's more likely to be that. Might be a misaligned door even where the door has dropped. And we talked about having shims behind the door to sort of space that out again as well. So it's more likely to be that, I think, but it could be many other things. What's that? Puff Daddy Juice.
That'd be your TT roadster. Yours
can
or
I have
mine?
your, yeah, which TT roadster is it? Do you want Andy's purple one or my silver one? Neither are available, I'd like to add right now, well, unless the price is right.
No, it's not.
No,
I have a
had to think about that then.
no. I have a real love-hate relationship with that car. I think it's. I think what helps is because, like I say, I'm used to it on the old tools, so it took longer than I wanted to get it ready. I mean, but I think as soon as I get it on the road, it'll be
It's
a total
yeah,
loving with it.
it puts
Um,
smiles on your face, doesn't it? That's the thing.
yeah. I think that the funny thing at the minute, I've never driven it where something's not gone pear-shaped. I took it out, and next thing I heard a noise, and there was some metal bouncing down the road, and
Oh, that's never
a
good.
spring had broke
Oh,
at the
that's never
back,
good.
and I think something had come off the exhaust as well. So
Mhm.
it's had to have new springs and shocks and a new exhaust.
Well, but it's done now, so I think how mint it's going to be moving forward.
Hopefully, yeah.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
Design Wraps has said, Ray, check your windscreen bond. I think what Ray is saying though, it's been undercover, so it's not going to have got wet. So that's quite unusual. I've undersealed my roadster. Have I done the right thing? Depends really. I've seen different things. So people use Lanagard on them, don't they, to seal it off? That seems to be the popular one because that doesn't leave that sort of thick residue on it. Some people that underseal it with like a tarry type residue, what's the one that they'll use? The black sort of like tarry one. Anyway,
don't know the name.
You know the thing I mean.
Yeah,
it's
I think it was on one of the roadsters
but,
I had, and I think it was commented on the MOT about it, saying it was like thick and everything else, and you couldn't see certain parts. Like,
if you're going to underseal the car, I would underseal it with something like Lanagard. It's quite an expensive product, but it's definitely the way forward, and it will protect your car. What it's not worth doing is undersealing a car that's already got corrosion. I'd always make sure. Dinitrol, yes, there you go. So that's definitely one you want to avoid. Things like Lanagard are clear, but you really want the car in as good condition as possible before you underseal it. So that's one thing I would recommend doing. But yeah, it's going to protect the car a little bit. So yeah, one thing to definitely look at. I'm trying to think if there's any other events that are coming up that we haven't mentioned that might be going on around the UK. I'm desperately trying to scan my head to try and think anything I've missed. But if there's anything you want to ask us while I've got Andy here as well about his roadster and his journey or his experiences, then please put it in the chat. We're happy to talk about it. Evening chat, shout out to Yorkshire TT community. Hi, Scott Harrison.
Hey,
Scott, is that someone Andy knows
Scott,
well? So
yes, Scott's also based in Sheffield, and they're whenever I'm out sort of in a shop or anything, I seem to run into Scott a lot. So
right, Scott Harrison, have we met? And have you got like a car with different colour? Did you have a different colour bumper and wing car at one point? Is that silver and black?
It's definitely. I think it may be.
I think you were at the Motorist, if I remember right. I'm pretty sure I recognise the name. Let me know if that is you. It's a few years ago, and funny enough, so my memory of the Motorist, I've only been once. And when I got there, I had a really bad back. I sat in the cafeteria with a really bad back. And when I got home, I had COVID. So that's why I was ill all day. So yeah, you got it, Andy, 100% correct. So there you go. What a memory, Scott. There you go. I do remember that car. I've got a memory for cars, you see, and people that I talk to. And so there you go. Yeah.
It's got a set of QS alloys in it, if I remember rightly.
Right.
I think Scott.
It didn't have purple seats, did it? Oh no,
I don't think so.
Oh no, or was that hang on a minute. There was the Aviator grey car that belonged to
forget the girl's name now.
No, it's got purple poles.
I don't know.
Felix.
Okay.
Felix, I can't remember his surname. Oh no, you guys again are correct. Oh, it was your pole car. Yeah, Felix, that's it. Yeah, Felix's car. There you go. Yeah, there you go. There you go. I do remember these things, you see. People think I just forget everything. Well, my wife thinks I do anyway, but yeah. What's the highest mileage TT you've seen?
Well, the highest mileage one of the four I've owned was 135, which was that red coupe that I came to Quattrofini with. Saw one advertised recently for sale. It was a QS. It might have done about 175,000 or something.
I think Bryn's got one at the moment that's about to go 225. Yeah, it's a 225 to 225. So that would probably be the highest one I know of. There's a few people that have posted up that have done 300,000 kilometers, but obviously that's less than 220, 230,000 miles.
I think the thing I'm learning though, mileage is irrelevant really.
Yeah,
Depends how it's been
maintenance.
maintained. 'Cause,
Yeah, exactly
you
that.
know, the red coupe I had that done 135,000 was no issue at all.
No.
But the 60,000 one I've got now is a complete pain.
Yeah, exactly
Um,
that. Well,
so
I think there's that.
just
Some
depends
of
on maintenance, doesn't it? Really.
Yeah, yeah, and I think that's something to really consider is that when you're looking to buy a car, and I've done a few videos on buying a low mileage car and a high
Mm,
mileage car, again, that is a massive factor because these cars are all 20 years plus old now, at least 20 years old, Mark Ones.
yeah.
Now, if you've got a car that maybe have 40,000 miles on the clock, 20,000 miles on the clock, that's done less than 1,000 miles a year at that. Well, if a car hasn't done any miles, or
Mm.
it's sat for like your purple roadster, great example.
Yeah,
If
it's
it's
just
sat for
sat.
5 or 6 years without any miles, things start seizing up, things go wrong. Cars need to be driven.
Mm.
That's the sad part of it.
I had to change all the coolant hoses as well. I had to get a coolant, and all the hoses, silicon hoses.
Yeah.
They all needed swapping because they were all
And were
split
you able to
metal.
get hold of those quite easily?
I bought some from MTC
Right,
Motorsports or something.
but brand new, you were able to
Yeah,
still get a
yeah,
kit, yeah?
yeah.
Okay, that's good to know because a lot of people have said that not those parts are always available. Right, so Claire's on 150,000. Steve Chesson's got a white 225 on 198. Yes, you have. You had
Sold
it, yeah. That went back to Mark Stanley, did not I think that one? Claire 159,000 has gone up 9,000 since you posted 9,000
Yeah.
miles in 2 posts, Claire. Hopefully that was a typo on the first one. Oh, no, I don't remember that. Christoph, mate of mine, offered us 170,000. Bam.
I like Rafty's comment there.
What do you see, Darren?
Is it possible to buy a Mark 1 and not have to spend money on it?
No.
Not in my experience, sadly. No, I've had
No,
4 of them.
sorry. They all cost money.
Yeah.
Darren Niederhoff, 272,000 miles in 2011 that I saw as a service manager. Right. And Darren is in the US. So Darren was part of the, you have to forgive me, Darren, that it was the Audi TT, not the owners club. It's gone out of my head what it was now. Sorry, Darren, but you are quite an influential person in the TT community in the US. That you've had quite a few things involved in previous years. The one, I keep pressing the wrong thing. The 1.8 engine is an excellent engine. It is if it's well looked after. Yeah, rapid. We said those cars are you always have to spend money. Where does Quattrophenia start from? It starts from it starts from the Duke's Head pub in. I don't know how to do this. I've got my
parrot.
My humble assistant alongside me has got all the information. Yeah, it's the Duke's Head, Crawley Down, and it starts normally. We meet at 11 o'clock.
Yeah.
And we end up at
Brighton Marina, don't we?
There you go.
But we went via something Downs, didn't we?
I
sort of remember we sort of went out and parked, and it was just packed, wasn't it? And we couldn't all get parked. It was
we parked the top of Ditchling Beacon.
Yeah, I think everyone was getting a bit annoyed with us all, really.
They were, yeah. We tried to get there this year, so in the previous holding this year, but the road had been closed into Ditchling. Thered been a bad accident, so we had to turn around and went into the marina a different way, which was probably a good thing because it means we didn't have to get stuck at the top of Ditchling Beacon. Mohammed backed 153,000. Is that your car? 153. Yes, someone else. Claire Steve put about Claire's car going up in miles. Love tuning, fellas. Thanks so much, but I need to. I live near Ditchling Beacon. Steve, do you? Well, there you go. Well, that's a great photo opportunity at the top of Ditchling Beacon. Design Wraps, definitely drop me a message, buddy, before you shoot off. Definitely get in touch. You may have to reconsider using Ditchling this year, mate. Really expensive parking, always packed now. Yeah, I don't think we're going to do that. I think this year what we're going to do, I think we will meet at the Duke's Head pub, and the journey from Duke's Head down to Marina, I might say to people this year, rather than convoy down there, that we will head off, because some people go down the M23, it's a quicker route in. Some people want to go the country roads, but we'll say that we'll maybe leave the pub at 12 o'clock and we'll aim to be at the marina for 2 o'clock. And it's entirely up to people how they want to get there, if they want to go off on a little convoy, however they want to do it. But we'll try and do it in a few different ways. But yeah, that's a great point, Richard. It is getting expensive. And I know I keep harping back to Belgium, but there's one thing I forgot to mention about it, I will say, is that one of our lovely members, I think Vanessa it was, it's coming to Ghent with us on our journey to Ypres. So we're going over on the Wednesday, and the first night we're staying in a monastery, an old monastery in Ghent. and Ghent has a low emission zone. It's free to apply for the license. You can do that online. It takes a few minutes, but you need all your vehicle details to do it. But you must do it before entering Ghent because it's a low emission zone. If you don't do it, it's a €240 fine. So if you are coming for the full journey and you're coming to Ghent, make sure you fill in that online before you travel. Are you going to Ypres by any chance? Yeah, I might be. Yeah, we're both going. Are we both going? Yeah.
Hopefully, yeah.
Yeah, separate
Fingers
cars,
crossed.
but we're both going. Did
Just
someone
something
mention
about
my name?
if you're going up.
Oh yes, there you
the
go,
tunnel.
Vanessa. There you go, the tunnel.
Because I had to ring and change the reg number, and they just said to allow extra time. They said when we were travelling, said in April, they said to allow extra time because there's been a change of the passport control thing.
There has. So as you now, so I've literally used the tunnel this weekend.
Okay, yeah.
So it has changed, but do you know what? It was the quickest journey I've ever gone through, both ways, actually, both ways, going through there and back. And there's a new automated passport sort of like check-in facility at Folkestone now, although it wasn't open to us because we had it was all cordoned off. We went very early in the morning and we had a Ford Ranger, so we had to go through the large vehicles anyway. So we went through the normal way of doing it. But yeah, I'd allow extra time for your journey. I think we are planning. I think we're on the 1020 crossing, so I think we're probably going to. I'll put out some details in the coming weeks. I think we normally aim to leave the Folkestone services at 9 a.m. but we might try and leave at 8:30 this time to get there in time to come across. But I will mention that. Yes, Vanessa, it was you that gave me that information, so thank you so much for providing that. Andy also mentioned earlier that the restaurant has struggled to get back to him with confirmation about the booking.
Yeah, and then they sent me. So I've got a confirmation saying that I'm booked in at 7:30 on the Friday night, but then I got a random email from saying about me booking being at 5:30.
Yeah,
and I went to chase them back up and I've much come back.
So I would definitely worth. Vanessa, you mentioned you had a similar problem with that. But I would recommend that if for anyone that hasn't got a confirmation or they've applied for it, a friend of mine that's also coming, one of my old ice hockey buddies who's now got a Mark III, has decided to phone them up and speak to them, and he got confirmation over the phone. So it's definitely worth speaking to them. They tend to be open. I don't think they open Monday and Tuesday, but I think from Wednesday onwards they are open, and you have to ring them during their opening hours to get hold of someone. So I highly recommend you do that if you've not already done so. That's one thing I would do. But yeah, we won't talk any more about Belgium because it's probably going to bore people. Other than there's also some passenger rides that are available through a raffle. They're going to do a raffle for people to go into the museum. The museum's €15 to go into. Highly recommend checking the cars out. They're definitely worth doing. There's also a fantastic car restoration yard across the road called Mistral Cars. Definitely worth walking around that and seeing all the tools laid out in the wonderful cars. Amazing. But yeah, I'd highly recommend it because Thierry's car collection is just out of this world, honestly, if you like old cars.
Cheers, Scott.
Yeah.
You just say safe trip back up north.
Yeah. Cheers, Scott, for that. Hope you've enjoyed tuning in. But yeah, it's been good to have you along. Please join us again another time. What's the hardest part of Andy's Merlin that he's had to fix? Richard Rendell.
God, like I said, being on it, I've not done any of it. I've had a lot of help from a friend of mine called Tony. I guess the big jobs have been Campbell water pump. That's the big stuff, isn't it? I suppose. It did need some welding underneath, which, like I say, I didn't do it, so I don't know how big or an awkward a job that is. Yes, I was thinking back now. So I've done it. It's had the steering right, which I said done earlier. Power steering pump, shock, springs, exhaust. I did go after market for the exhaust. That's even though I know I tried to say I'm believing OEM, but it isn't ish.
Yeah.
Ish.
It's I suppose that things like timing belts are it's quite an involved job. I've done the timing belt on this car myself, but I did have the guidance of Mr. Bryn to help me with this. BWSTT, he came down and showed me how to do it. Left the instructions. He's written them on the wall. So if I need to do it again, I've got them.
Is that what that? Yeah, I thought you got the list.
Yeah, so that's the instructions that Ben left me. That he said, I'll leave this on the wall. And basically, even someone of Bryn's level, because he needs to make sure every step is filled out. we ticked them off one at a time as we went through them. So you can see there's a little tick by all of them to make sure all those things are done, because it's such an involved job. It could be very easy to miss a step, and then that could be catastrophic for your engine. So we went through, made sure every single step was done, and touch wood, the car has been all right ever since. So, and that'll mean it's got another 5 years of life in that belt, which is always good, because the engine that's sitting right over there, just out of camera shot, that wasn't so fortunate, and the person that owned that car before me decided to strip the belt of teeth and cause the engine to come together. So it's a bit of a mess, that engine.
I must admit, something I've done on every one of mine, even had the cam belt water pump done straight away. Yeah, I just noticed there that Richard George had also said it took him 2 attempts to also get his confirmation for the restaurant. So, which is unusual, because they're always really spot on, that restaurant. And if you've not been to that restaurant before, it's out this way. It's fantastic. Very, very good. It's one of the highlights of the trip for me. There's also the drive that's going to be happening on that Friday. So if you're getting there early on the Friday, the drive takes place at 3 o'clock. It's about an hour and a half's journey around the local countryside, being led by one of the local TT owners, going to take us on that. Definitely worth checking out. I've had to take my engine side mount out because the thread stripped. I would say the arguably harder than cam belt if you don't want to remove it. Yeah, you have to also be careful you're doing the cam belt, that the lower pulley that you have to take off is held in place by 4 bolts, and it's very easy, or if you come across that job and someone that's been there before has been a little bit heavy-handed, very easy to round those bolts off, and we had an awful job with ours, but it is on there. My Imola roadster was in today for cam belt, water pump and full service. Yep, we definitely saw that on Facebook, and it passed with flying colours, so that's all it's all good as well. Did say that's all looking good and back on there. In fact, when I saw that picture of it and those viaducts behind it, I thought it was Chelmsford for a moment, because it's like Chelmsford viaducts, but I know it's not, but I thought it was. Did we miss anything else further up? If you've got any questions, guys, please put it in the chat, because Andy and I are happy to answer any questions or anything you want to know about Andy's car. If you want to know anything about any jobs you've got coming up, or anything that you want us to cover off on the channel, it makes such a difference to how the engine feels. Also, mental confidence in the engine. Yeah, it's having a bad engine mount can be really earth-shaking, I suppose is worth to describe it, because your car will shake itself to pieces if the engine mount's not absorbing all that travel. So it's definitely something worth to investigate. What was that? I was going to talk about stuff on the car. Oh, that's what I was going to say as well. If you're going to Europe as well, and you get yourself a little UK badge, I don't think there's any size limitation on these. There might be a minimum, but this one is probably, it's not even, it fits in my palm, my hand. It's quite a small one, and it fits perfect. It's magnetic as well, and it fits perfectly on the Roadster boot lid. It's about the only place you can actually get it, and it will magnetize, but it's perfect size. The big oval ones won't fit on there, but these smaller ones, perfect size. When do you think you have the rocker gasket video out? Steve Cowell, I'm hoping to have the engine strip down video out this week, although Richard George might shout at me because he wants to be here to me take it apart. But I've done most of the disassembly, other than the bit that Richard wants to see. But most of the video is already done, so I'm hoping to get something out this week. So it might be a 2-part video. We'll have to wait for the second part, Richard. I'm trying to find that gasket. I keep looking for it. I'll leave Andy to entertain you for a second while I try and find where I've done that gasket. Could be anywhere though, couldn't it, really?
it could be anywhere. If you know my garage, it could literally be anywhere. I've definitely hung it up though, because basically the desperately trying to find it. Must be here somewhere. I've hung it up on the corner of somewhere. I know I have. But basically the little half moon gasket is a known place to lose oil through. Oh, Richard, to tell you what I've got here. You left this behind, your light. So I've got it safe. It's sitting down here. And you also left these 2 empty Coke bottles in my garage as well. But yeah, there you go. There you go. But I'll let you off. But yeah, waiting for the invite. Yeah, we'll definitely get you down for that second part when I do that, so you can kind of look at it. But yeah, I will. Steve Carroll, I'll try and get that first top engine disassembly video out very soon. I'll hopefully try and get it this week for you. Your garage is tidy compared to mine. Darren, that's only because you're not seeing the majority. You're seeing the car part of it. You're not seeing the mess part of it. It's actually a triple garage, but it's triple lengthways. But the one car's space is just full of rubbish. The second car space is full of work in progress, and the third space has got a car in it. But yeah, that's quite frustrating to hold. It's always the way. So when I'm doing jobs, and I'm talking about this part again, that is one of the most important jobs to do on your car, which I've talked about many times, is changing the oil pickup pipe. When I want to do talk about that, I can never find that part. When I want to talk about the oil rocker cover gasket, the rocker cover gasket, I can't find that. I know the rocker cover is down there. I can see that on the floor over there, and the inlet manifold. There's a steering pipe there as well.
Pipe, aren't they?
So these are. I might just talk about that actually. So this is a part of the of my breaker actually, and it's actually in good condition. But what they tend to do is, you can see they start to corrode here. They start to bubble and they pour. Watch me don't walking out. I just poured power steering fluid all over my floor of my garage, which is never good. I didn't realise there was any left inside it, but at least it didn't go on my top, which is the good thing. But they do tend to start to corrode and rot away, as you can see here. They start to bubble up through the material. I think you can probably save those.
You can, because I had to do it on mine.
Yeah,
that's the only thing I've actually done.
But there you go. If you look there,
mine went exactly the same thing.
Yeah,
I forget what.
Yeah, it's because they're exposed to all the elements there. So the auto bowling alley. Yeah, that's sort of funny. That's what we call it. We call it the bowling alley garage because that's what sort of shape it is. It's going to put that up there so it doesn't leak fluid all over my garage. I'm also then going to try and find a towel for the I can mop it up. Yeah, I need to find an old one. Oh no, that's a nice one. I don't want to use that. I want to find out. Well, I'll find an old towel to mop up on the floor. But yeah, that's never good. The car is currently out of battery as well, so I hadn't been driven for about 10 days. But what we've got, and one thing you should always make sure you unplug, is if you've got any of those Bluetooth plug-in radio transmitter things, I leave mine plugged in. It's drained the battery in 10 days, so I need to put a new battery in it, because if this is going to go around France, it needs to have a good MOT. So what MOT, good service. So I'm going to do a full service on this car and talk about what I would do to get it road prepped for a road trip. So I'm going to do a full service. I'm going to do plugs. I'm going to do filters. I'm going to do an oil change. You name it, I'm going to do it on this car. I'm going to put a new battery on it, and then we can show all the steps, and I'll also cost it all out, what it's cost me to almost put a car back on the road that you'd need to maybe if it's out of service at the end of the year, that you'd need to do. Just spot a cloth there.
Adding up the receipts I've spent on mine.
The receipts?
Yeah, for the purple. That's the.
Just going to try.
I don't want to share.
No, that's the thing. I think
keep the wife away from that one.
I think that's. I'm just going to grab a cloth for 1 second, because live TV and all that. Just going to grab a cloth, because the last thing we want to be doing is walking power steering fluid through the house.
Any of you tried to get the brake lines from the master cylinder out of the back of the engine bay?
That is an absolute pig of a job. They're all hard lines at the back of the engine bay, which can cause all sorts of jobs. So they're lines. I presume they're the lines that you're talking about that go off to the ABS pump, are you? The hard lines at the back of the engine bay. But they are a pig of a job to do. I don't think you'd probably be able to wrestle them out without removing the engine. But yeah, I think a lot of the jobs, the trouble is the TT, it's such a tight engine bay to work in that you've got to almost like take the engine out for a lot of those jobs. John Giltinan nearly sold my 2005 3.2 convertible 2 weeks ago. I've run in for 6 years, and after seeing your video of what seems to be them, at long last starting to rise in future classics. So thank you, Andy, for that. No, my pleasure, John. It's always good to read comments where the videos have helped people out and stuff. So really, really, really pleased that that's persuaded you to keep it. I think they are definitely worth keeping hold of. Mohammed, great stuff today. Thank you, Mohammed. That's great to hear that your people are enjoying it. If you are enjoying the video, guys, please give it a thumbs up. And also if you are not a channel member, please consider becoming a member. Lots of perks for being a member. You get to become part of our clandestine club, and you also get to support the channel and do some good by keeping the videos coming. There's also a discount for merchandise as well. So if you're after a hoodie or a t-shirt, it's a £5 discount for any of the items on store. You also get to feature your car in maybe in a thumbnail of the live as well, and also come and join me here in the garage like Andy does. So yeah, come and talk about your cars, and also get first refusal on spaces for Springfest as well. So if you are coming now for Springfest,
well worth attending.
Yeah, absolutely right. Definitely worth it for a cake, I think. On the 31st, so Sunday the 31st of May is the next Springfest. If you're interested, definitely drop me an email if you'd like to attend. Correct, end of the pipe is bent at the master cylinder. Don't want to rag it more than I need to. No, you will end up causing trouble. So I think you're probably going to need to move the engine a bit, I think, to get to it. I might be wrong. I say it'd be worth maybe dropping Brennan an email if you want to ask for some advice on the best way to do things, because I'm only going from my experience of removing an engine. But how do you become a member? Richard Rendell, there's a join link at the bottom of the screen. So you should see underneath there's an option to join. So by becoming a member, you can click the join link down there and say if you would like to become a member. That would be most appreciated, because it's always good to get new members on the channel. And you also get your name in green on the chat. So all those people that you can see are typing in green, they are channel members. And they also get a little badge off their name, and that badge changes color. I think once you've been a member for a year, you get the orange badge. So there's two people that I mentioned in the members only chat. So we have also, I do members only posts and members only videos as well. So if you want to be receiving those, then obviously that's another reason to join the channel as a member. We have got our first two people that have been members for over a year, actually. So membership's only been available for just over a year. One of them has been a member for 16 months. That's been put out as well. I think I will get myself a membership, Andy. Thank you, Steve. Appreciate that, buddy. Please do click on that join link below if you'd like to become a member. It's most appreciated. And again, I think the more members we get, it's good to come and get you in the garage here, particularly if you're local, Steve, because if you're down towards Ditchling, I think it'd be good to get you in get you here and talk about your car as well, if you're happy to come on screen and do so. Because Andy, I think you're a bit nervous about coming on tonight. You said you did.
I'm not.
But
I
think you've done an amazing job, sir, tonight, being part of it. So thank you for being here and being part of it. I think it gives people something to do on a Monday night, doesn't it? Watch these.
Yeah, well, it's quite random. Last week when I was on it, I was in a hotel in Dumfries.
You were,
at work. And then this week, sorry,
you're on the Andycharger channel,
yeah.
What better way to spend Monday night?
Exactly.
Swanning yourself around Tunbridge Wells and being on here.
So yeah, I know.
Highly recommend it.
Well, Tunbridge Wells tonight. I was Canterbury early today.
Wow. So all the highlights of Kent you've seen today, but
apart from I went to Ashford.
But well, yeah. But you have done a trial run for when we go away in a few weeks. So that's
I thought that's more when I set off, and obviously it's virtually the exact same journey as coming down to the tunnel. So.
And how long did it take you to get down today?
3.5 hours.
Okay.
No stops.
In a car that works, that is.
Yeah.
So I'm sure I'm going to work as well, but it's that's all good. Greetings from Germany, chat. Chat. I'm curious how much the MOT insurance costs from an Audi TT in the UK. Well, that's an interesting one, Elias. We can talk about that. But first of all, as you're greeting us from Germany, would you be coming along to the show? Hopefully you are, and we'll see you in a few weeks if you are coming along. I think, Elias, you were on a couple of weeks ago. MOT is about 45 to
45 pounds.
Yeah, might be cheaper up north. I don't know. But yeah, so it's
Southern
about
premium, maybe.
That might say what it is. Yeah, so about £45. So let's say about €55 for the MOT, and that allows you have to have that. It's a requirement for all cars over 3 years old that they have to pass that annually. Once they've passed that, it's a set of requirements. The car is then safe to drive or deemed safe to drive for the next year, which gives you a little badge of honour for the next year, I guess, with the TT. Now, insurance, that depends on a lot of factors: your age, your driving experience, your convictions, your claims, lots of factors. My insurance for the Roadster is about £200 a year for my insurance, but that could change quite significantly. The insurance for the Papaya, which is just outside the door, I might open the door in a minute. We can have a look at the Papaya just behind us. That is a bit more expensive because I've got that on an agreed value policy. So the thing about the TT is this one is probably worth no more than £2,000, if that. The Papaya is worth £10,000. So there's a big difference in car value because of the colour and the engine, the mileage, lots of factors on that. And I want to make sure that if I had an accident in that car, I would get back the money that it's worth.
Yeah, I'm going to, because mine currently is just a bog standard insurance policy. It cost me just over £200. And that's with 3 years, no claims, I think, 'cause obviously for the last 30 years I've been on, or nearly 30 years, company cars. So, but I think when I come to renew it in December this year, I'm going to look for more of a classic policy, I think, probably.
Yeah.
So I don't know what mine would be worth, really.
Well,
We had this discussion, didn't we?
We did, but I think your car, because of the colour, it's definitely worth more money. But it'd be interesting to know what people think is the most valuable colour car in the Mark 1, because the Papaya seems to be asking a premium. But on the scheme of things, there's quite a few of them around now, more than you think. Although there's only 40 or 42 ever made, or 41 ever made.
Yeah.
There are a few that dot around, but there's a lot more rare colours than that. So I've only seen one cosmic yellow, which is pearls.
Yeah.
She's got I think she's got a Merlin one, has she not? She got a Merlin car? But I think she's got 2 or 3 Papayas.
What's it called that? It's like a pinky colour, isn't it?
I don't know.
Like a metallic cerise type colour.
So the bronze one is the cosmic yellow, but it's actually bronze or goldy colour. But there's obviously the white cars are very rare as well. Red, red. I'm not sure that's that. Although your car, Paul, is a particularly nice one. Gina's put there that she's good to see you on, Gina. Good to see you there representing the TT Addicts tonight. And Rappy's on, obviously representing TT Addicts as well.
Is that allowed though? That's Mark 3s, aren't they?
So that's a Mark 3, but but yours is a bit more expensive because you're so young, Gina, as well. That's what it is, being a young whippersnapper. That's what I think that will be.
Talking about rare colour cars, pal Tony's got one in Atlas Grey. And
Really?
I remember speaking to Dom about it because I'd never seen one before.
No, I don't think I had.
Dom seemed to think that there was like next to none that had come into the UK in that colour. He was thinking maybe even less than 5.
Do you know, I think my friend in Belgium, Patrick, has got one. He's got one. He's got some really rare, what I class as quite subtle colours, like greys and greens and browns sort of colour that are quite rare. And I think Atlas Grey is one of those that's a
180 roads. Tony's got 2 Roadsters, 2 180s. He's got one Mauritius that's coming to Belgium.
Yeah.
That's done 135,000. Then they've got this Atlas Grey one that's, I think that's similar to mine. His has done about 61, 62, whereas mine's 60. So
right. So they're all quite low mileage though.
Well, 2 out of the 3 are,
yeah.
But I was trying to convince him to bring the grey one to Belgium, but he's like, no.
But you know what? It probably wouldn't be as rare out there because they aren't those. There's so many